Damages. Man, there is nothing more disheartening than getting my new film arrive battered and busted. It's actually a really stressful part of film collecting. So I'm a huge physical media collector, and I have been for many, many years. I actually started collecting VHS at the age of 5. That was 35 years ago. I'm now 40, and I've gone through them all: VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and now obviously 4K UHD. And obviously, I used to love going in store, picking stuff up, but it's not massively well stocked these days. So luckily I do have a local HMV, but it is hit and miss what they have in stock. And so I have to result in getting imports and all the other stuff I want ordered online. But the last year in particular, where they've been cutting back on the packaging side of things to go green and stuff, but it's resulting in so many returns and damages. It's insane. I try to not be too fussy so that I can enjoy my hobby and just get on with the film. I am autistic, and it does, like, the whole arriving damage thing bothers me. Obviously, I love the disc and contents and like to just enjoy it, but when you pay a premium price and you want a collectible thing to have on the shelf and to appreciate, admire, and the book that goes with some of these releases and posters and artwork, you don't want it all mangled and messed up. I said, especially when you're paying top whack and the prices have slowly been going up. And as a freelance filmmaker myself, sometimes income can be hard, and I give a lot to buying film, so it's stressful. I've had some horrendously arrived packages, not as bad as some I've seen on groups and things, and there have been some really bad ones. Now, I'm quite lucky and cheeky how I've managed to resolve some of them. Obviously, if something's out of print and you haven't got it, like with the Bruce Lee Arrow video set that everyone had a hard time with, that was disastrous. I luckily did get a copy of that arrived amazingly okay from Arrow. I was one of the few lucky ones, but it did arrive in terrible packaging, but mine was amazingly okay. I've done a few crafties, so Amazon isn't too bad with its returns. So if I've had a damaged item from somewhere, I've done a bit of the switcheroo where I've ordered one from Amazon and then returned the busted one. That's been a crafty thing I've done. But it is hard. Zavvi used to be horrendous with their returns. They've got a bit better since leaving the Hut Group, but when they was under the Hut Group, that was horrendous. In general, I've noticed some places have been sending without bubble wrap, and they used to. The bubble wrap made a massive difference. It used to keep it a bit protected, and when there's no bubble wrap at all, they get smashed around. HMV is the worst. They send large boxes with nothing in them, so the box set, the 4K, the Blu-ray, just getting smashed around in there, and I've had busted corners, but it's not just busted corners. Some of them have been so dented and busted, it's then damaged the book or booklet that comes with it, or even the case itself. So when you open it and see how bad the damage is, it's actually worse than it even looks. It is bad damage, and it is just really disheartening. It kind of it's a downer on the joy of collecting. I love collecting film, although I get stressed with the finances and the funds and the money that's going out. But it's really sad when you're waiting, you're excited, and it arrives banged up like that. It's stressful, and it can be a nightmare to resolve. Some of the resolutions I've had to go through have took weeks to get resolved, and fortunately I've been able to maybe order another copy before something goes out of print, so I have one that's good while I'm trying to sort the return out. Not everyone can do that, and at times that's been a bit hard for me to do, but I get so paranoid of not getting one because they're incapable of delivering one without smashing it up. But yeah, I've been through it all like everyone. I've had a package left out in the rain with Blu-rays in. I've had one that apparently got delivered. I couldn't find it until days later. It had been thrown over my back gate, which is nowhere near my front door. It had gone behind a shed, and I thought it was missing, but it had been sat out there. There'd one been shoved under the back gate, just left in bad weather. Again, that was a Royal Mail delivery. They normally just put it through my letterbox. Like, why this time it was just left out there like that? I didn't even know it was there. It was only that I was going to my car. I work from home quite a bit editing, and I happened to go to my car and saw something sticking out from under the gate. Otherwise, I might have been a few more days until I'd seen that. It's crazy. I mean, I've literally had to buy a Blu-ray set from one shop, arrived damaged, try and sort that out while sorting it, go to another shop. That one also arrives damaged, and it's like, it's like a jigsaw past the parcel until I eventually get one that isn't damaged and have to get all the others sent back and refunded. And I mean, there has been times where I've had the same edition several times just sat on the side while I'm trying to sort out getting one that isn't battered and getting refunds on the others. And there's nothing worse of when the replacement arrives damaged as well, sometimes even worse. This year I got Marriage Story Criterion Edition. It took 4 deliveries to get one that wasn't completely battered up. And I'm not talking like a little bit of damage, I'm talking about completely crushed in. I had it recently with Barfly, 4th copy lucky. I'm relentless, I will not give up. But it is hard work, and I can see how it can just get to people and you can't be bothered and throw the towel in. But man, it's been stressful sometimes getting an edition that's just not messed up. And I've also had this one, which is a real kicker, where I've gone to store, seen it, picked up, and I have checked, well, as best you can the store quickly. And then you get home and you realise I'd missed something where like there's a great big gash in it or something like that, which has happened. I know it sounds mad, but like you've seen the front, or I've had a quick look, you don't look like a nut or a weirdo, and in the store, and by the time I've got home, I've done nothing to it, but that I'd missed like a big like slash for it or something, and that's frustrating because it is harder to physically take in store and replace than it is online. I have found that in store are a bit more argumentative or challenging, whereas hiding behind the internet screen can be a bit more easier, but then it just takes longer. Another stupid one is that packages have been shoved through the letterbox, so they probably would have been all right, but they weren't quite the right size to fit through a letterbox. Rather than just knock, they've wedged it through, and that's actually caused damage. Crazy. So I thought I'd put this video out there as a little discussion for physical media collectors like myself on how do you sometimes deal with such bad deliveries. I know some people can live with some blemishes, and as I say, nothing stays perfect and you get shelfware, but like when things arrive proper smashed up, I'm talking about damage that's just not acceptable, and 5 or 10% back in compensation isn't the answer either, and we know what I'm talking about there. It's nice to actually get a decent copy of something that you've ordered. I don't really want to slag any particular shop off, but there is minimal shops you can buy from. Like for me, I have a HMV nearby. I do find that their online orders aren't so great. I tried recently to get them delivered to store, but for some reason it wouldn't, and I was getting the 20% off. But then like I ordered a few, and a few of them out of the few I ordered have turned up battered. Luckily, I was able to exchange in store because I had it in stock. But if I wasn't able to get to store, they had it in stock, I would have had to have sent back for a refund, only to then chance it again. Their online service is pretty bad. I only used it for 20% off. Amazon, I have Prime, although that doesn't always come as next day delivery anymore, and for quite a while this year they weren't even stocking our video releases, so there was no option to go to them for them. I'm a red carpet member of Zavvi. Not too bad. They used to be. Fortunately, I've actually had probably less problems in recent years with their deliveries than I have with Amazon, HMV, and some of the others. Going direct to labels I've done before as well, but several of them I have had bad arrivals, and unfortunately one where it was packaged really well packaged, but despite that it was quite badly damaged, and this was a box set, so the outer box was damaged, so was the J card, so was the hardback book that was in it as well. So the damage had gone right through. That must have happened in the warehouse, because the actual box that arrived in and the packaging was perfect. It was kind of bomb-proof in a way, but it was still a disappointing delivery, which was a shame. And luckily I was able to get the replacement parts, but sometimes these sets are out of print and gone, so like there is the worry as a collector. I'm like, is it going to arrive all right? Every time I do an order now, I dread the you're supposed to be excited when the package arrives. Now I'm like, I dread the package arriving, because I think like is it going to be damaged? Is it going to be more hassle trying to sort it out and getting it taken care of, rather than just sit back and enjoy it? It's a bit of a nightmare sometimes. But my love and passion for film will never die, and I'm a collector at heart, and I always will be. So the collection goes on, as I say.